How are you? So I wanted to begin to share some information about our chapter with you. So it's really important that you begin with reading the chapter yourself. And then the PowerPoint is going to be a really good refresher for you and an opportunity for me to pull out information that's really relevant and that I want to make sure you capture. Your quizzes are going to be on the textbook itself. So when you go to do the quiz, make sure it doesn't incorporate all the other information I share with you, but your discussion boards will. In your discussion boards, you really want to pull in content from the textbook, be very specific with what you see and things that are relevant to you, as well as the additional information I'm providing to you. So welcome to the Introduction to Social Work. I am familiar that not everyone is here because they are going to become a social worker. Some of you know that's what you want. Some of you are exploring options, and there's a few of you that this is a great course that meets a requirement because maybe you're going into nursing or to education, policing, criminal justice, and it's a really great background to have, and I applaud that we have people from very different backgrounds. I think it doesn't hurt to be a better human and to understand not just what the profession is, but this class will really dig into, the whys of the profession. There's so many different issues going on in our world with people, communities, and policy and globally that I think it's really relevant and we can pull those ties to any profession. So the very beginning of the course, we'll be looking at just the profession of social work itself. So if I were in person, I would say to you, well, and think about this, what do other people say about social work? So if you were to talk to your parents or your friends and say, I am going to become a social worker, or, I'm considering social work, what would they say? Do you think it would be like, oh, you just take other people's kids away, or oh, you must like not earning money, or do you, or what is that? But I don't think what is that is always the first thing we hear, although I think many people don't know. But the perception of society, is it accurate to say, right? Or what did you think social work is, and what do you think it is? I think after the class is over, you'll have a much more broad awareness of the field. It isn't just taking kids away. Child welfare, the welfare is an element of what social workers do, right? We do work in protecting vulnerable populations. And within that, when there is, dire needs, there is removal processes, but that stigma kind of sticks with us, and it isn't all that we do. So here, let's create a list on the board. What I want you to think of is, and I believe it gives you some information in the textbook, we advocate, right? We're advocates. Where there's so many roles that we wear. We're counselors, we're crisis workers, we're group facilitators, we're mentors, we're teachers, we're grant writers, we're researchers, we're policymakers, we're activists, we're empowerers, we negotiate, we're negotiators, we're brokers. And there's so many things that we really do. Ah, here we are. Here's our list, right? We case manage. We enabler, actually, if you see that on there, enable means to give power to. So I think that in our world, we do see the word enabler used a lot with like addictions. And, who's the enabler, the person that's, giving power to the other. But enable isn't always a bad thing. It really is a positive word. If you think of it, means to give power to. So I want to enable you to be a creative, innovative, outspoken advocate, right? That's a good thing. Begin to use these. Think of this, write some of them down that are intriguing to you, and begin to, when you're reading the articles, and figure out connections. Where do you see policymaker come? Where do you see activists come? Or the traditional roles of counselor and such. I think that'll help you in remembering some of these roles and find ways to tie this into your work. So just a little bit of what's going on for social work here in Arizona, although I do encourage people to consider that you can go to school anywhere, right? You don't have to go to school just in Arizona. I just always find it, fun to see that there really are a lot of us that just go and stay home. But your first level of degree is your Bachelor's of Social Work, your BSW. And then there's an MSW program if you want to be more specialized. Your bachelor's program is a general program. So all bachelor's programs across the states are generalized social work. So you learn a little bit about everything and a lot about nothing. So it's your general. You gain a lot of robust knowledge so you can work in refugee services, child welfare, school social work, here and there. You know enough to kind of be in different sectors. You don't like what you're doing, you can move into different sectors. You have enough baseline knowledge to do that. Your master's is specialized, so that's really important. So if you're going for a master's, do have an idea of what you'd like to study. What kind of career, is it healthcare? Is it policy work? Is it child welfare? Is it, clinical work and like therapeutic services? Because every school will have a specialized master's program, and that will help you make a decision. And then your PhD or your doctorate. PhD has a lot more of that research element to it, and your doctorate of social work is still, they're both doctorates for those who are practicing in the field that don't want to be academic researchers at an institution. And then there's licensure. Every state is different. So if you know you're staying in Arizona, you then want to look at our behavioral health licensure pathways. And if you want to move, you may not want to get it in Arizona because sometimes they don't reciprocate. That happened to me. I'm from New Jersey. I had a licensed master's social work. So I was a master's of social work. I graduated. I sat for an exam and I passed it. I had to maintain my license at that point. But when I moved here, that wasn't reciprocated. It's the same test. And then your licensed clinical social worker, you have to be a master's of social work. You have to then have the license that you maintain, and then about 2 to 3 years of full-time work clinically doing therapeutic services to then sit for that highest license. At that point, you can open your private practice. So there's a lot of different levels. Now, the ASU School of Social Work does have your MSW program, BSW. It's online. West Campus is open. Now they actually are starting a Tucson campus. Yuma and Tucson. They have a concurrent law degree. They have another one of, if you're interested in just nonprofit management. NAU has a Yuma campus, which is very particular from their Flagstaff campus. So they're both distinct and different. I do not believe, now ASU will offer MSW at Yuma in conjunction with NAU. I don't think NAU Flag has a master's, but that could have changed. GCU actually just got approval from the Council of Social Work Education. They are the accrediting body for social work schools to start immediately, actually, February 2020, an on-ground MSW evening program. It is a generalist degree, so they're not specializing in anything particular. They're going to get a cross section of everything. So it is a 2-year program, I believe. And I guess unless you have a bachelor's of social work already, then maybe you can skip some courses. So that's the benefit of having a BSW from an accredited school. When you go to your MSW, as long as you've maintained good grades, you can skip a whole foundation year. That's a bonus. Okay. Okay, so I have some videos here in the PowerPoint. Now, this PowerPoint actually is in Module 2. I don't know why I don't have it in Module 1. And I believe that the link itself is up for you to see anyway. But these are really good associations for you to be aware of. So what is social work? That's a quick YouTube video to give you a little bit of a background of what social workers do. And then the NASW, please be familiar with us. It's the National Association of Social Work. Social work is a profession, and it has standards, and it's wonderful to be a part of a profession that has a professional body. And so there's a national level of that, but then each state will have its It's state level body. So Arizona is NASWAZ. You can find them, but there's a lot of resources. So if you're looking to find resources to help supplement knowledge and course, research material, go right to NASW and even CSWE. Like I said, they accredit the social work schools. So you do want to go to a school that is accredited, or your degree won't mean as much. Social work is international. So there are social workers all over the world. So exactly like the National Association of Social Workers, there's an international level as well. And there is an International Association of Schools of Social Work, because though they are all over the world, schools of social work. This isn't advancing. Here we go. And so there are theories that help guide our practice. So these are a list of some of the theories, and hopefully you will learn a little bit about them in our courses, although there are future courses to go more in depth. The career of social work is growing, and it will keep growing. And so there's a little bit of the wage, and so there's information for you to look into. I will say that medical social work is a higher paying field, and it is more than 45,000. To be a medical social worker, if you like that, then you have to go for your master's and you go and sit for your license as well. That is definitely a guidance if you are considering medical social work. Under that, government social work is like the next tier of value, and nonprofit work is at the lower level. But I want you to think beyond just being a worker. There's a lot of need, so create opportunities. You can create organizations that meet needs. So there's growth in healthcare social work, mental health, substance use, children and family, and there's just so many different areas of social work. And what would you enjoy doing? Is there an area that you think you'd enjoy doing? And because your 291 class, which is in the series here at the community college, gives you an opportunity to do 40 hours of field work and to begin to understand how our social sector works, and to get some experience hands-on. It's a really cool opportunity. So I'm going to stop right there. If you have any questions, it would be really fantastic for you to respond out, and let's get some dialogue going. And enjoy. Do read your chapter. It really is easy, and it has a lot of information that you can't learn unless you take the time to go back and read it. So please do yourself a favor. And I'm so sorry, my screen is cutting off all of my, there you go. I apologize. Okay, well, you take care.